Hey everybody, my name's Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm just going to do kind of a broad format ramble. I've got several thoughts on my mind that I would just want to share with y'all and get your perspective on them. And my first thought when it was presented to me really blew my mind. And it was mentioned to me in the comment section by Eric Staley 5223. And I just haven't been able to get it off my mind since then, since he mentioned it in the comments. And he pointed out that the educational system, which the government has taken over, they did that during the Carter administration, but they have stopped teaching cursive writing. So younger people today can't even read cursive writing at all. It looks like Greek or Latin or something, you know what I mean? But the thing about that is, the Constitution is written in cursive. So after the last of us are gone, down the road in 20, 30 years, if society makes it that far, the elites, they're gonna know how to read cursive. They're gonna teach their children how to read cursive, and they'll just be able to tell the population that the Constitution says whatever they want it to say. Oh, the Second Amendment doesn't say that. Right here, look. And they're not even, the person they're showing it to can't even read it. Well, I'll translate it for you. This says that some people have the right to bear arms. Not all of them. The First Amendment says right here that some people, approved people, have the right to free speech. Not all of them. That's a scary thing for the younger generations. They're not even going to be able to read the Constitution of the United States because it's written in cursive. So that's unsettling. And that leads me to the fact that all of these things, these coincidences that we're called out for as being conspiracy theorists and stuff, but all these coincidences always happen in favor of the government, the ruling class, the elite. They never happen in favor of the common man. When is the last conspiracy theory coincidence ever benefited us? Oh, look at this. Everybody gets a free acre and a half of land. Hey, everybody. You know, all you common folks, you get a free acre and a half of land. It's just yours by right. It was hidden here and we just stumbled across it. Anything like that. Oh, the tax code, you know, it's been a conspiracy theory for years about the tax code, and yeah, it turned out that y'all don't have to pay taxes. Anything. Name me one thing where something weird come along and it benefited us. Something we tried to figure out and was weird and shady and suspicious and it benefited us. Never. Not once. It always benefits the ruling class. It always benefits the government and the banks and the system. They never benefit us. Why is that? Is that just a coincidence that the common people are never benefited by any of this stuff? That's there's centuries of coincidences that has led us to here today. So when I think about that stuff, it's a little more than coincidence. That kind of kicks that term out the window for me, along with conspiracy theory and right-wing nut job and all that stuff. And all of us, we know we're just in the center. We're not far right-wing nut jobs. We're just in the center with our eyes open. But we get pushed over into this nutty crowd of, you know, with all the other weird conspiracy theories, what I talked about it on the other video on conspiracy theories, and I believe that to be true too. It wouldn't surprise me if the government or the whatever starts a lot of these really kooky conspiracy theories just to make the sound true conspiracy theories, mix them up with the nutty ones, and they all look nutty. Because how does, you know, flat earth or mechanical birds, how does that benefit anyone? No one. Not the government, not the people, nothing. So just let's throw that out there. Mix that in with the cursive writing in the Constitution. Mix that in with the geo whatever manipulation. Mix that in with, all the others, all the real stuff. Make them all seem like they're nuts. And a couple other shorter topics. I know I'm kind of being broad on my topics here, but a couple other things. I'm going to have to read this username. Vampster19 Cocked D20. That person in the comments, and I appreciate both commenters. Y'all threw some really deep ideas out there at me, and they make me think, and that's what this entire channel is about. Obviously, in the title of the channel, Gen X Thinks. This is why I made this, and this is why I love doing this, is sharing these kind of things with y'all. But anyway, Vampster pointed out that there were a lot of people who lived out in the country in their own little rural communities, self-sufficient, during the Great Depression. And hell, they didn't feel the Great Depression at all. They pretty much went on with their lives. They were self-sufficient. They raised their own chickens, pigs, cows, went out to the well to get water, whatever. It didn't really affect them very much. Only what they read, they read about it in the newspaper and stuff, I'm sure. But other than that, and they didn't live unhappy lives. They went to church on Sundays, went to school throughout the week. They did their thing. And just like they did for many years after the Depression, and just like people are doing now. And now I see a lot of people wanting to get back to that kind of lifestyle, wanting to get out of the urban chaos and back into a more simple lifestyle. And that's what a lot of this is pointed at, is just simplicity. I think that's a very key term in Gen X, in our thought process, is just simplicity, back to simple. All the chaos and the complexity of society and the ideals that are out there today, it's too complicated. We like simplicity, simple, direct conversation, simple, direct communication, simple, direct life. And that's Gen X. Now, if I'm wrong, call me out in the comments. And these are my opinions. I'm not trying to speak for everybody, every Gen Xer, before the few snowflakes get on there and try to harass me for that. I'm not speaking for every Gen Xer. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm asking y'all if you agree. So you can get on there and accuse me of trying to speak for all Gen X if you want to. I don't care. But I'm just trying to save you some time. That a lot of people are under the false impression that we literally cannot survive without technology. People believe this. They keep telling me, oh, there won't be any stores. There won't be any telephones. There won't be any. And I respond back, yes, that's the point. That is why we look forward to this. That is why we kind of hope for the apocalypse, because there won't be any of that crap anymore. It'll be back to simple basics. And that would force honesty, honor, and integrity back into society. Because nowadays, everybody can just lie, make up stuff. They can make up 43 identities and lie to people and manipulate them for money now. And it's not even looked at as a big deal. Lying and cheating and all this stuff isn't even looked at as a big deal anymore. I realize everybody's got to do what they got to do to survive once in a while, but it's becoming a way of life. And you get back to simplicity where your word might mean your life. And that brings back honor. That brings back integrity. That brings back honesty. That's another reason to kind of hope for the apocalypse. Bring back honesty and consequences for dishonesty. Because if you're even acting shady around a group of people, they might not want to take the chance of what you might do. So people would, by necessity, have to man up, cowgirl up, and be honest and keep their word. And that is why I was stressed out over the live stream going wrong, because I feel like I gave y'all my word that I was going to do a live stream at that time. and it was taken out of my hands. That right there, that breaks it all down for me. That it can all be focused down to that point. Something's out of my control, out of my hands. My integrity is out of my control, out of my hands, and I can't do anything about it. So to get back to the basics, I would have my integrity back in my hands. If I said I was going to do something, I would do it. And it's not up to some server in San Francisco or something as to whether or not I'm going to do it. It's not up to some big corporation who likes or dislikes my message to decide whether I'm going to do it or not. It's in my control. And I believe that a lot of Gen X can relate to me on that. And another topic I'll discuss, it's also about this post-apocalyptic thing, is that people think that, oh, I don't know if I would survive. I don't know if, what would happen and all this stuff. I don't think I'd make it and all this. I hear this a lot in the comments. And I understand that thought process. But in response to that, I'll quote from the first Christian Bale movie, Batman Begins. Ra's al Ghul tells him that will is everything. The will to act. Training, physical fitness, all this stuff, those are secondary. Without the will to act, that's the key point. That's the one on top. Because you could go through decades of training and do all this, and then you get into the situation and you don't have the will to act. It doesn't mean anything. You can have zero training, have a bum knee and whatever, but if you have the will to act and get it done over every obstacle, through every opponent, your odds skyrocket. It's one of my favorite quotes from any Batman movie, and it stuck with me throughout all these years. Will is everything. And I'll leave you there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click on that super thanks button down there. I appreciate those of you who've done that. Thank you very much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Or you can jump over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. And I'll leave that link down in the description. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can go over to Redbubble and check our stuff out over there. We've got Gen X and Gen X Thinks branded gear. Hats, t-shirts, stickers, all kinds of stuff. And I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It really helps out a lot. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email's over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.